Hello everyone, I am Utpala from the Doing It Easy channel. Today we are going to do the small app that I told that we will build. This application will allow the user to input two numbers, and what does this application do is add those two numbers and print those two numbers back to the user. Okay, so first thing we have to do is create a form to get the user inputs. Next step, we put those inputs that we get from the user into our variables, in two variables actually. Then we add those two variables together and we'll print out the total of those two variables. Okay, let's create the HTML. We'll put the title as small app. We'll create the form. Action will be we'll post the form to this page itself. Method equals post. This is important, the method post. We will be using the method post to get the values from the form into our PHP variables. In the form tag, we'll create a label for number 1, give it the input of text, name of number 1, value will be a blank. We can, in HTML, there's another attribute that allows you to make sure that a user will input. This is making it a required field, so we'll make this a required field. Okay, we'll copy this and paste it again. This is for number 2. We'll make the syntax a little bit better. 2. Okay, now we have to add a submit button. Type submit. Value will be add. The name is submit. Okay. Now what happens is, when the user submits this form, we have to write a PHP code to check whether the submit button has been clicked. So it's a conditional statement. We have to test whether this submit button is being clicked. If now this is a new function, isset. It's a function that checks whether this button is being set meaning it has been clicked. So now we have to use the post superglobal to access this button. So the name of this submit button is submit, so we'll check submit. Now we are checking whether this button has been clicked or not. Okay, if it is clicked, we want the values of these two input fields and put them into our PHP variables. Number 1 we'll call the first and $_post. I know you are new to this $_post, that is a super global, but I will explain this in another lesson about this super globals. There are get super globals, post. So what's the name of this input is number 1. So number 1, and the next number 2 equals to $post number 2. Okay, Okay, now we have got the two numbers that the user has input. Now we have to add those two numbers. So we'll say total equals dollar number 1 plus dollar number 2. Okay, now we have to print out the total. Echo dollar total equals to, let's put it like this, dollar number plus dollar number 2 equals total. Okay, we are done with our small application, so let's check it out. Control S to save a small app. Oh, what has happened to our input fields? Text, number, value, tag, input text, name. Here, what seems to be the problem? Let's get rid of this for a moment. What is wrong? Input type, text, name. Choose name, number, value is value. So we have to put the type. Type equals text, and here also type equals text. Now we are good. Let's save and okay. Now we'll test the application. We'll add two numbers. 64 22 plus 12. Yeah, test to give 35. Okay, we got 35. Now we can enhance this application a little bit. We'll put the answer into strong text. Okay, this is another thing that we can do within PHP echo command, is to print out HTML tags. Now let's check. Okay, so again 1 3. Okay, now it has been strong. These are strong. Okay, I'll make these fields required and let's see what happens. By making these fields required, the user will not be able to submit without filling out these fields. He has to fill out these fields. 12, and if submits, no, he has to fill out this, or she has to fill out this number. And yeah. Okay, now this concludes this lesson. I'll see you again. I will explain a lot more about the superglobal, post superglobal, and a little bit more about PHP arrays, which is really important. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.